The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games Podcast Network.
The Nintendo Shack is back. Welcome to the PSVG's Nintendo Shack, a proud member of the Play Some Video Games Podcast Network. I hope your Friday is going well. If you're listening to it on Friday, if not, I guess every other day of the week can be good as well. I am Jason Lacey. Joined with me this week, Mr. Donnie Reese.
Greetings, Scooplings.
And we have Patrick's cousin, Seth Waugh, is in the house.
Howdy. I have to say, you made me question my sanity when you said, I hope your Friday's going well, because
it's Thursday night for us.
It's Thursday night, so I was confused.
I want to be topical for the listeners. You know?
Okay,
hey,
well.
Hope your Friday's good. Seth, this is our first podcast together. Congratulations. Welcome.
Is it really?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Never been on a show together, I don't think. I might be wrong.
I've been around for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I've been around.
Well, you see,
can't be possible.
I get on PSVG proper like once every 6 months now, so that's part of it.
Blame Kevin.
I haven't been on it since.
We're getting Seth.
Oh, I think we're losing Seth.
It was a short-lived podcast between you two.
Well, that was Nintendo Shack this week, everybody. Thanks for listening. PSVG.com, blah, blah, blah. Never stop gaming, right? That's how we do it. The internet.
Yes, the internet. Did we get him back?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
No?
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Too much Netflix and chilling going on.
Can't see me?
Yeah. No, we kind of see you. It's just like it's more like this on our end. It's like a
robot.
We're having internet difficulties.
That's
but
true.
We're gonna push through. So. It's the week. It's another week in Nintendo land. This is the Shack. We're happy to have you here. This is one of the premier podcasts. I won't be the elitist and say this is the premier podcast.
I will.
Play some videogames.com, but there are many good podcasts. But let's go into the show here. Let's talk a little bit what we've been playing. We don't do that every too often here, and Seth, since you're the guest on the Nintendo Shack, what have you been up to lately in gaming?
All right, in Nintendo gaming, I have been playing Celeste, which is a game that you are quite familiar with.
I am
far more familiar with it than I am, even though I have beaten the main game and really just enjoyed that game a lot. Other than that, I needed a little bit of a palate cleanser from Celeste, so I dove back into Donnie's favorite game on the Switch. I forget what it's called, actually. It's a car racing game. That
terrible game? No.
Yeah. I forget. What's it called?
I was thinking he was going to do Golf Story or Zelda.
I was like, what
is he doing? And he's like, that game. Ugh. No.
It's not that bad.
It's
bad. It helped me in between my 300 deaths on Celeste. That helped me regain a little bit of sanity.
It's
before
Gear
I hopped
Club,
back
right?
in and finished. Yeah, Gear Club.
I can honestly say this. Let me just run through the brain here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst game I've played in 2 years. Easy. It's not close. I have not played a game that I thought was that bad.
It's not that bad.
So like, in what? Like, are you judging it on it alone? Or are you comparing it to other racing games or just other games in general? Because if you're comparing it to another racing game, it is that bad. Like, it's really not. If you're comparing it to Forza Horizon 2 on 360, it's bad. Like, it's not that good. Like,
I guess. I mean, I enjoy playing it in handheld mode.
Okay. I mean, I know you're more of the car racer fan. Right?
It's a fine. I mean, yeah, it doesn't compare to Gran Turismo Sport or Project Cars, or
I don't even think it's as good as like Asphalt. Like I played that Asphalt game on my Apple TV, and that game was better.
Well, I don't know what that is, but anyway,
I predict Mario Kart Tour will be better.
Yeah, definitely.
your club's fine. I'm not not upset that I have it. Whatever. It's a good palate cleanser. There is a clear. You were playing it on TV, right?
Yeah, so I was playing it. Docked.
Yeah. So there's some sort of disconnect between playing it handheld and playing it on TV. I don't know what it is, but it reacts slower on TV than when I have it handheld.
That's interesting.
And I don't. It's probably slight, but races that I do fine on handheld, I'm terrible when it's docked.
So like for me, and
I don't know
look,
why.
I didn't mean to turn this show into that game, and it's not.
No.
For me, it's like if Forza Horizon 3 is a 10, and I think it is, then Gear Club Unlimited is like a 4. It's just a 4, and that doesn't mean it's like the worst game ever. It's just not as good as other racing games.
Yeah, sure.
Do we think that? How does that stuff get past testing? Do you think they're just like pushing out to hit a release window, or like Brawl Out had a ton of problems and bugs. Like you couldn't even if you unlocked a character, if you didn't have an adjacent character unlocked next to it, you couldn't ever select that character because the menu wouldn't let you navigate. So it's like stuff like that, And
I do think there's
games that had a bunch of weird bugs that needed a patch, but
there's a gold rush to get games to switch before the AAAs get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I will say in with the racing thing, Switch is not going to be a good console for racers. Period. Other than Mario Kart is obviously great.
Ridge Racer.
It's Ridge Racer.
I've never played Ridge Racer. I don't know if it's the right kind of thing, but
I've played the original and it's not good.
Better than Gear Club Unlimited though.
It's whatever. The main difference is the trigger buttons don't have any. It's just a button.
Yeah.
It's not whatever I don't know what the right term is.
There's no tension. There's no resistance. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess can we say analog? Would that be the right?
I don't know.
It's all or nothing. There's no.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, any racing game, you could take Forza and put it on Switch. Never mind the graphical fidelity, and it wouldn't be as good because it doesn't have the stuff. Anyway, okay, too much time.
As I say, I specifically asked Seth to come over here so you two could talk in depth about Celeste, the 10 out of 10 indie darling of the year. Like, why are we talking about this awful racing game?
I don't know, because you kept it going. Anyway, Celeste is
Donnie's fault.
It might be slightly hyperbolic, but beating certain sections in Celeste are as satisfying as taking down any divine beast last year for me. When I get through, and I haven't even gotten through the B-side stuff that Jason has, but when I get through a particularly tough section, it's immensely satisfying. The game is really pretty. The story is interesting.
I think that's something a lot of people glance over because I think they'll just say the story is just really minor. But I think that the story is rather interesting, and it deals with some heavy topics such as depression and anxiety and panic attacks, those things like that aren't always talked about, especially at least in the game format. And I thought I think it's a nice little interlude because you're expecting just when people talk about it, they immediately compare it to Meat Boy. And then let's face it, I think the story in Meat Boy sucks. It's just there. And it's nice to have something like that, at least for this game.
Yeah, I thought the story was interesting. All of the characters are memorable. There's not a ton of characters. There's Madeline. Oshiro.
There you go.
The old lady.
The old lady.
She doesn't have a name. Does she have a name? The old lady.
I can't remember. And then the guy with the cell phone. Whatever his
Theo?
name is.
Is it Theo?
Yeah.
Theo.
Rudy.
He has a cool Instagram account. Also, did you ever look at the Instagram?
No, I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't know you could do that.
There's an.
We're getting meta now.
Yeah, there's an Instagram account. I'll have to look that up. where
Oh,
it takes his trip before as he goes to Celeste Mountain. It kind of leads up to him going there and stops right before he starts climbing the mountain.
okay.
And then, of course, you meet him on the mountain and he takes selfies with you.
I think I think I found it.
I can see the pictures in Jason's glasses.
Yeah. Theo under stars, I believe, is the Instagram.
That sounds right. I looked through it. It's really, if you get some time, especially as someone who's played the game, there's not really any spoilers in there, or at least there wasn't when I looked before.
He has a poster of the Big Lebowski, so I mean that's cool.
So anyway, so it's for a game that has 5-6 characters. I remember specific things about them, and it's just a text-based game. I know it's one of my favorite games on the Switch that I've played. So, well, I don't know,
that's awesome.
maybe we'll rate it. I don't know, but I don't know that it's 100 or 90 or whatever. But it's just one of the best experiences I've had on Switch.
I would say compared to other games in that of its type, of its genre, it's my favorite. I think we have to compare games based on what they're based on their competition. A Breath of the Wild 10 isn't going to be if Celeste is a 10, they're not the same type of game. So you can't compare an apple to an orange.
Yep.
It's really funny, my journey with this, because after like the latest trailer we saw it in, like the little mini direct sizzle reel, they showed it, and I was like, it looked cool, but then I remember I was like, well, if it's not $15, I'm not buying it. And I was all like, nope, $20, nope, forget that. And then it released, and everyone's like, this is the greatest game. It's like, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I'll eat crow. And I don't know if I didn't think I'd enjoy games like this. I played Super Meat Boy on the 360, and while it was fun, I don't think I ever finished it because it was frustrating, and I just didn't enjoy it. And I'm playing, not that it's quite the same, but at least I think of a game that's known for difficulty. I'm playing Cuphead on Xbox, and with Celeste, I don't know what it was, because I got through the story, and then I was like, okay, I'm done, because the strawberries don't matter, so I didn't see a need to get the strawberries. I don't think I didn't know the B-sides unlocked other levels at first, and then I found out they did, and then there is sort of an end game as well, and I thought, okay, I'm done with Celeste. There's more games coming out, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what it was. It was really this week. I was like, well, let's do the B-sides, and I fell down a rabbit hole of pain and misery. I don't know what it was, because I couldn't stop. I could not stop playing this game, because every time, like, first of all, what it does so well with the B-sides is, like, they feel like they're never ending. Like, the levels feel so long, and every time you get through an obstacle, you're like, well, there's no way, this has to be the hardest thing. There's no way it can get more devious. And then it does. And I don't know. Like, I've never used the capture feature on my Switch more than I have in this game. Like any other game, I just thought, nobody else has done anything. But like you said, I felt such an accomplishment when I finally overcame something and pulled it off. And plus, when you capture it, you have to do a perfect run. And then when you show it to people, like, look how good I am. I didn't even die. I nailed this. And doing the last B-side, I died over 1,000 times.
Jeez.
Over 1,000 times I died, and that's just insane to think about it. But I don't know if I'd want to go through it again, but to say that I made it through there is just it's mind-blowing. And like the skills and the techniques I've learned playing that to where I started, it's mind-blowing, like how much better I am at the game than where I was when I started. And even though like you said, even though I'm dying over and over, the game makes one key point that always stuck with me in one of the screens is like, don't pay attention to your death count, because every death you're learning something.
Right.
And that's exactly the case. Like every time you die, it's like, you screwed something up, or you know why, and the game spawns you back in there so quick that you can just keep trying and keep messing with stuff. With that said, the sections I'm at right now, it's just like
Are you in the epilogue now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like maybe 3/4 through that, and I'm at the point now. Like I set out with the goal to complete the B-sides. I've completed the B-sides, and now I'm much like you. I'm like, I need to just put Celeste away for a bit because you have to be so. It's like I'm so hyper focused, and everything's like timing and precision. I'm just like, I just need to relax now. I just want a game I can have fun with, because I almost was like seriously considering like I'm gonna have to buy a new Pro controller to get through Celeste.
I was just about to ask if you guys are playing handheld or if you're playing with a Pro controller.
I've played both.
Yeah, we've talked about playing handheld, how you kind of feel like sometimes you may lack that precision.
Like Celeste has like you have your major, you have what 8 inputs, you know, your up, down, left, right, and then diagonal up, diagonal down, left, right, you know. And definitely with handheld with the Joy-Cons, it's a little sloppy, I feel like, in its recognition. But I feel like even with the Pro controller, I feel like I need a controller calibration menu, because I feel like a lot of the time I feel like I'm inputting up, but the game registered it as diagonal or vice versa. And I hope I'm not like I've already blown through controllers, because I don't want to spend $80 for more Joy-Cons or $60 for $70 for another Pro controller. But I thought that's what I was serious. I was like, I can't beat this. I'm going to have to buy these controllers because like they're not registering my inputs. I've worn them down already. That's what I thought. And then, you know, I finally got through it, but I was using the D-pad at some point just because, and some sections where I had to have really precision, like time and directional inputs. But
I have been talking about controllers, this getting away from Celeste necessarily, but I've been playing a little more PlayStation now. Last year I felt like I really played an awful lot of Switch, and now I'm kind of back to the PlayStation more. Yeah. There's a clear difference between a PlayStation controller and a Nintendo Switch controller. The PlayStation controllers are just better, and at least I think so. I feel like I have more control with.
Are you talking about the Pro controller too?
Yeah.
Man, you can't come on the Shack and say stuff like that, man. What the
yes,
hell?
I can.
What the hell? What is this?
Look at my Twitter. Look at my Twitter. PSXP podcast. I'm the PlayStation podcast.
Well, I will save my rebuttals for that when I talk about controllers. But
yeah, no. But in general, I just have an easier time. I think that the PlayStation controller is better than the Nintendo controller. I just feel like my joysticks, I have more control.
And I would say, just to counter your statement, you also have like a decade's worth of training on one controller versus the other controller.
A joystick should be a joystick. If I push it in a certain way, a character should move that way.
Joy-Cons suck. I hate the Joy-Cons.
Yeah. So anyway, so Celeste, another thing that I think makes it work, and where, you know, people look at it, and to beat the original 7 levels, I think I died 1,300 times. And people say, oh, that doesn't sound like fun. When you die, you immediately reload, and you're on the same screen. It's not like, and I haven't played Cuphead, and I wish I could.
No,
but
it's
not like that. You spend whatever 10 minutes trying to beat a boss, and then you die at the very end, and you have to start over.
That's my biggest grief with Cuphead, because you'll die, and then it shows you a little map, and it gives you like a progress bar of how far through the fight you made, and then you restart the fight, and you have to listen to this intro again. And every time it's like one of 3 little taglines, and after like 18 times you're hearing the same 1 or 2 taglines, I'm just like, oh my god, which thankfully Celeste doesn't do that. You know, the music doesn't loop, the music just keeps going the entire time, so you don't have to have that reloading, and you're just right back in there. I like how it reminds me of Mega Man's death with the little particles floating up.
So I think that's a big part of it. That was also similar to Hotline Miami. I don't know if you ever played Hotline Miami, but that's just, you die over and over, and that's the point. The screens, the characters move the same, and you learn which way to go and when to go. That's what makes it successful. It's a hard game, but it's kind of forgiving, and it's a fair game. You know, it's not like I love Bloodborne, but sometimes you don't know why you got hit by a random axe just out of nowhere. Every time you die in Celeste, you know why you died.
Yeah.
Or you can figure it out.
I can't imagine designing that game because so much is like they've totally mapped out, okay, this is exactly how far the player can jump or dash. And this object is going to be right here, but we're going to put this object here and this enemy is going to move right there. And it's just so many times I died. I'm just like, I can't imagine like the time that went into the, like how precise those levels are set up. And I'll be like, I can't believe I still can't believe I got through the B-sides. Like that's how like I feel like it's probably like you said, that's like a huge accomplishment. Like I feel like really rewarded for playing that. And I think some people are going to be turned off from the difficulty of this game, but I think of the initial levels, I think most people are going to be able to get through, especially because I think the game does a pretty good job of difficulty going at a decent clip. I don't think I think the pacing is well there. With that said, I don't think, and I don't think of myself. I know Donnie talks me up on this podcast. Others, this elite PSVG gamer. I don't think of myself that way, but I don't think a lot of people are going to get through the B-sides. And I didn't think I ever would, and then I did, and it's just.
But before you get to the B-sides, there's 7 levels, and that took me about 7 hours. And for this style of game, and even if I never touched the B-sides, I've gone back through some of the earlier levels looking for more strawberries. I'm missing one B-side tape, and I'm looking for. I still have reason to play it. A $20 game. I mean, I paid $20 for Journey, which is a 2-hour-long game.
Yep.
And one of my favorite games ever.
Yep.
Anyway,
this came out right at the same time as another game I just played. They're similar in price point. I much more enjoyed my journey with Celeste than I did with Night in the Woods. I'm just I'll put that. Donnie, you and I mean, we can talk about that a little bit because we both finished it. But well worth the time investment for the price point. I would say for Celeste.
All right. So I don't know how things work on. Do we want to put a stamp on Celeste? Or just say if you think that if it at all interests you, absolutely jump in and play it.
I would wholeheartedly recommend it. I don't know where if I had to put like if I put the PSVG 0 to 100 at it, I feel I'd put it somewhere between an 85 and a 90. I think I don't know. I don't have a precise score, but that's where my gut instinct lies.
I'm pretty much at a solid 90. With it, it's really, like I said, I just enjoyed it. One of my favorite games on the Switch, and of this style of the 8-bit, 16-bit side-scrolling platformer. Yeah.
Great soundtrack too. I don't think I really spent on top of that, but it has really great soundtrack.
So I was going to ask you guys because I'm kind of over scores. We talk about this on Discord all the time. Is it like a top 5, top 10 Switch game for either of you?
Oof, I don't know if it's not. I don't think it can crack the top 5 for me just because of, while I love the game, my top 5 I think would be games I can enjoy and play. And like Celeste, I have to be like hyper focused, like really drilled in. Like I can't just chill out. Like Zelda, you can just hang back, sit back, and just do something. Golf Story, you can kind of just do that. But Celeste is like,
lock yourself in a room.
Yeah,
no distractions.
Donnie, I died 1,000 1,000 times. 1,000 times.
Cool.
For me, it probably is.
Okay. There you go. I think it's better than any review score.
It's close to. I've talked up Shovel Knight for.
Yeah. Shovel Knight's amazing
on PSVG, and it's I don't know where I would rank it compared to Shovel Knight exactly, but it's pretty close for me.
I would say I would agree that like the satisfaction I've got from Celeste is more than any other game I've played. Like in terms of completing that or doing that, like I felt like the Zelda, Mario, whatever, I bet I could get that golden turd by getting all the Korok seeds, and that wouldn't even compare.
Or the Master Trials? Nothing?
Ooh.
A candle?
Okay, Master Trials, just because, Master Trials is still number 1.
Oh, okay.
You brought that back into perspective, because we had the Night of Misery.
Oh,
we had the Night of Misery. And so,
we were trying so hard.
that, I forget about that.
I still
memory.
I still have not done any of the Zelda DLC. I tried the Master Trials, I think 3 times, got up to level 9 or 10, and just died.
I know someone that did that on Master Mode. Did the trials on Master Mode. I don't know how that's possible.
Didn't Tyler beat Master Mode?
He beat the game on Master Mode. I don't know if I don't think he did the trials on Master.
Okay, yeah,
I don't know, but he did beat the game. He beat the game twice. Yeah, he's.
I think with 3 hearts too.
He's legit good too. All right, so we close the door on Celeste.
We close the door on Celeste.
There we go. So it's my turn.
It's your turn.
All right. So I got all right. I got some life stuff I'm gonna talk about, but I'm gonna save it for the PSVG pod tomorrow. It's been a trying week, gentlemen, and the reason I want to say that is
a little teaser.
I came across a video game called Owlboy, and one Jason Lacey's been talking up Owlboy, and I gotta admit I hadn't done the research into it. I knew it was a game, I saw it. I kind of thought it was like the Wonder Boy or that other game that came out. It's like
Dragon
remake.
Or Dragon Boy or Dragon.
And I was just like, okay, it's another sprite based
something
bit
dragon
art stuff. So I hadn't really put a whole lot of thought into it. So it comes out. Jason's talking about it. I've got a bunch of credit.
Wonder Boy, Dragon Strap.
Yeah. So I was looking for something to play. Kind of. I was going to get. I'm going to say Shadowfall, and that's not it. What's the game? The Fall 2?
Oh, The Fall 2. Yeah.
I was going to get that. That's what I came to the eShop for.
I want to play that, but I feel like I'm missing out because I haven't played The Fall.
So they did say that they have a recap narrative for anybody that's listening. So if you didn't play The Fall, you can recap it. Unfortunately, it's very puzzle-based. And the first one was puzzle-based, but apparently this one is super puzzle-based. It's really puzzly. And I wasn't in the mood for that. Like I said, this has been a very stressful week. I didn't want to do that. That's not what I wanted to play. So I was reading the reviews on The Fall, and I was like, oh, I just don't think that's what I'm into right now. So I was like, all right, so then what about this Owlboy? Jason's been talking about this Owlboy. I'm going to look this up. So
I want to see what you're on.
I start reading some reviews for Owlboy, and the reviews for Owlboy are great. And I'm like, all right, I'll play this game. Screenshots are cool and whatnot. So I downloaded the game. I've been playing it. I streamed my first hour. I know Seth said he watched it, so he can chime in on a little bit here. So we have a nice little chat. Like Celeste for you two, Owlboy is one of my favorite Switch games, and I haven't beaten it yet. I am somewhat shocked. I thought it was maybe a longer experience. I don't know how long the experience is, but I do know that I got stuck earlier today, and I went and looked up a guide, and I'm halfway through it, which I did not think I was. I thought I was maybe a quarter of the way. I'm halfway through the game. So it can't be that long. Maybe 8 hours. It can't be that long.
I think the IGN review said 10 hours.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
Yeah, probably 8 to 10 hours.
Maybe I'm breezing through it, or maybe the second half is just a lot harder than the first half. But it is fitting. I often say this. Anytime you're speaking your feedback on a game or a piece of art or music or anything, a movie, I think it's important, especially if you're kind of in a special state of mind, that you mention that, because there's certain times where movies, music, video games just fit, right? They just sync with you, right? There's music that connected to you when you were 13 that you hate now, right? But when you were 13, that was the best music in the world. And this game is doing that for me right now. This game is fitting exactly what I needed from a video game this week. I was awesome. I am so upset at life, and again, I'm going to fill in everybody on the story, but I've had such a bad weekend.
You've been playing Shovel Knight in real life.
Oh man, exactly. It's so bad.
Or Steam World Dig. I don't know which you prefer.
That I just kind of wanted to veg out, and that's what this game is. It's so joyful. First off, it's stunningly gorgeous. I dare say it might be the prettiest game I've played on a Switch. Seriously, it's
wow.
Beautiful to watch, especially on the screen. Anybody's ever seen if anybody ever played a Vita, there were some of those pixel art games that really made the Vita look really pretty. That's one of these. Like when you turn the brightness up on the Switch and you play this in handheld mode, you're like, man, this game is amazing. And then you put it up on the big screen, it looks even better. I mean, it's just super crisp. Everything's super crisp. There's tons of little visual animations, like leaves are falling, clouds are moving in the background. The background, like earlier today, I stormed the ship. On this, like we're under attack on Advent, and it's doing that old school like Genesis thing where like every explosion, the entire level like lights up white. So it's like flickering, but then there are all these bullets and like cannons cascading in the background and moving ships that are in the background. It's just very like everything is in constant movement while you're platforming. You had mentioned to me that it was like a Metroidvania, right? You were like, it's kind of like a Metroid.
Yeah,
I haven't got a whole lot of that.
Okay, well, that was based on what like an assumption, like a preview that I had read that they like into that. But
there are some things. There's not a whole lot of backtracking that I've encountered yet.
That's good then, because that makes me want to play. Like, I feel bad that I haven't played it yet, you know, because I've been like, oh boy, I've been into it for so long, and then I'm that's
kind of what I was like, Metroidvania. Like when you say that, that's all I think about. Like I'm gonna go all the way down one way, and I'm gonna come
that's
all the way
why
back,
I haven't like that game.
Back.
Was it Dendara that came out at the same time? I think that looks really cool, but that's that type of game too, and I'm like.
I haven't encountered any of it. This has been a pretty linear platform.
Like Zeo Drifter. I don't have a
yes.
I don't want to play that right now because I just don't want that.
I have done a few things where like you got to go like back a screen or two to get something to get through the puzzle, but it's not that bad. It's Shovel Knight-esque, to be honest with you, like in terms of progression. And the writing is really good. This poor character, you just feel so bad from the intro of the game. Like everybody just hates him, and they just tell him like how big of a loser he is, and like everybody's like kind of. You're just like even on my stream, I'm like, geez, stop it already. I get it. Like I'm the town screw up, and they just keep going on.
Just like Night in the Woods.
Just like Night in the Woods, and but you collect this little band of misfits, and you go and you solve some puzzles, and you fight the bad guys, and it's just, to be honest with you, I'm just kind of enjoying flying around the clouds, especially when you hit those peaceful moments. Like there are some save states where you, like Shovel Knight, you drop by a campfire. It's got beautiful music. My wife even, she's a music major. She even like come by and listen to me play. She's like, that sounds great. And I'm like, this is one of those games where the music's so good. I'm like, I might need to buy an album. Like I might need to go find this somewhere. It's pretty good. I'm definitely enjoying it. That's really all I can say is I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm looking forward to finishing it. It's great. So if you guys have any questions or comments, or I can move on to the next game.
I'll say I didn't watch your entire playthrough, and I didn't watch probably that much of it. But I guess the parts that I watched, it was just like, it was at the beginning, so it's setting up the story, but it was just a lot of talking. And
that's probably like the first 20 minutes. Setting everything down, and then you get to a dungeon and a cave.
Okay, so I was watching that. I was like, I don't want to play a game where I'm scrolling through and just pressing A.
Don't get Night in the Woods then. Stay away from that game, but don't give up on Owlboy, because Owlboy gets a lot better.
Well, see, I say that, and then one of my favorite games of I think it was last year, maybe the year before, was the game. It was a side-scrolling Telltale-like game where they go to the island. It came out to Switch earlier this year or late last year.
Oh, Oxenfree. I got you, buddy.
Yeah.
Took me a minute.
I platinumed that on PlayStation.
Oxenfree's really good.
And that game is you walk around and you talk to people.
Yeah.
And very light platforming and very, very light puzzle solving. So I guess, like you were talking about, it depends on what mood you're in.
Yes.
And so I guess I saw first 20 minutes there or whatever, and I was like,
Anybody that watches my stream that first hour, I can say now, because I've played maybe 4 hours since that first hour. I think I'm like 5 hours into the game. Okay. It gets a lot harder. That first hour, I was like, I'm really enjoying this, but like it's pretty much like, point and click. Like I'm just progressing. Now I've died a few times. Like I've gotten, like now you start getting to like into the attack on the ship, into some of the caves, some of the bosses. Like the reason I had to look up a guide earlier is I kept attacking these guys and I couldn't figure out, like I was attacking them with everything I had and it wasn't doing anything. Turns out when I went and looked at somebody YouTube it, you're not supposed to attack them. You're supposed to like sneak by them. My dumb self, I'm just playing the thing like I've been playing every Mario game forever, jump on every enemy. So you're supposed to, so there's stealth sections, there's puzzle sections, there's boss fights. Definitely, there's really good stuff in there. Like there's some of it like reminds me of like it's like like Metal Slug or anything like any of those like shooters, especially when you start getting to some of the shooting stuff. There's a lot of like flying and dodging. It's not twin stick because you're constantly hitting the shoot button, but kind of you get in the sections that remind you of that. Like you start to get those, that flavor back. So I love it. I really do.
We'll say I watched after I watched yours and then said I'm not feeling it. I did watch the IGN review, and and they showed more some of the combat, and I think the combat looks interesting, and the way that they talked about you don't have different loadouts, you have different characters that you have to carry around, and one character has a certain ability, and then you need a different character for a different ability.
Yep.
Which I thought was interesting.
So Owlboy can't really do anything, Jason. Like Owlboy, you can fly and spin. Right. You just carry these folks around, and like you'll encounter new folks, some folks that join your party, some that don't. But like every character gives you an ability that helps you get through the area that you're in, or fight the enemies that you encounter, and you got to kind of figure it out. So you're constantly like, all right, what do you do? And then you kind of do that for 30 minutes, and then you move to the next place and get somebody else. I
forget, Donnie, did you ever play Headlander?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah.
I
mean, some of that reminds me. It's a very Metroidvania light, very light Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Where you need to go through and you have the different heads to get through the doors.
Yeah, Headlander reminded me of like Shadowfall or like Outland. It's kind of like that. But either way, Jason, I did beat Night in the Woods, so you beat it too. I think we're the only two people that got through it so far. I don't think Kevin's caught us yet.
Yeah. I think so. Kevin's still playing it.
I don't think anybody else is playing it.
Yeah, so, I finished it last week, Saturday. I finished last weekend, basically.
That sounds like the same time I beat it. Okay, that doesn't matter. But I did beat it. I played it maybe 5 or 6 hours that last day because I was like, I'm finishing this game now. I gotta say, while I do like the game and I do enjoy it, and if I was like reviewing, I would review it positively. I did think it wore out its welcome. Like there was a period where I was like, I'm ready for this game to be over now, and like I felt like that. I think I wrote this in our Discord. That third act, I was like, all right, guys, like let's move it along.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the same way. Like I have positive thoughts of the game, but I kind of was left underwhelmed.
The ending is
because like it's just naturally to get like because the way the writing is and the character interactions, you care about a lot of these different characters, and the way it ended, it just left so much there. Like I got really invested in what was going on between like May and her parents and her family situation. I was hoping to learn more about that, and then it's just like, nope, here you go. That's it. And then I thought there was a couple places I hadn't like checked out a couple times. I was like, oh, I'll just load up my save and check it out. Nope, because once you finish the game, if you boot it back up, you have the option to start a new game. You can't continue. You can't.
Oh, really?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I
was
pretty sure I tried it and there was no continue. It was just new game. I was like, oh, it like completely just ends your file.
Because I know there's DLC in the game on Switch, but I don't know what it does.
It's already in there. Like that DLC is already in the game. Like because those,
Because then if you go to extras, you can play like.
Yeah, those are some other things too, but like there's extended interactions and different things that are in the base experience that you've played.
Oh, okay. But, well, I'm glad I didn't dive into any of the extras because I really was like I'm kind of done. Yeah, like that's why I went searching for the Fall or Owlboy. Like I was like I need something, so I jumped into Owlboy. Like because I was like I can't play this anymore. Now I did love the characters. In the writing itself was really good.
I guess I was disappointed too. Though disappointed might be a little harsh, but I didn't go into this expecting a interactive narrative. You know, I thought there was going to be more game here. I didn't expect I was just getting a story with extremely light game features. You know,
Seth, this game is a lot of press A to go forward, jump up there, grab the thing, bring the item back to the person. There's a lot of that.
Or just talking.
Yeah, just watching, a lot of good talking. But you know, it's good talking. It's a positive game. I don't want to sit here and kill the game. It's a good game.
The writing is excellent.
This is one of those great eights, right? So it's like I enjoyed playing the game. I don't wish I didn't play it. I don't wish I didn't buy it. I enjoyed playing it. I recommend you play it as well. I just say, like, how long did it take you to beat it? Because maybe I just played it like badly. I played the game for like 15 hours.
Yeah, I got to be up there.
It's a long game, man.
Yeah.
For a narrative-based game, I was like,
did you find the pacing, though, to be off?
I wouldn't say off. I would say it's like a slow drip.
Those first 2 acts, I was just like, okay, I'm going to get up, talk to my mom, go out, talk to this person, jump up on this same building. I was doing the same things over and over, and I was just like, oh. And then finally, like, something happens. I was like, okay, we're going to – and then that something happens, and then it was like, okay, end game. I was like, oh, okay. I just felt like the last act was really rushed, and the beginning was so dragged out.
So not having played the game, and I think the game, I mean, I think it looks really interesting, and it honestly might be something I do. I'm traveling a bit this summer, and do a couple plane rides, and out of town for business stuff, and it might be a game that I might look at when I'm going to be on the plane. You know, I'm interested.
It's a great solo. Yeah, I mean, it's a great solo thing. Yeah.
So you talk about the lengthy and how you felt like it was dragging. Does that play at all into the narrative of the game? Like in Celeste, I feel like part of the difficulty, I mean, you're climbing this big mountain. I mean, the character is climbing a mountain, and it's grueling and it's tough. So the gameplay is grueling and tough, and you feel like at the end you've climbed this mountain, sort of figuratively. Does the lengthening or feeling like it's dragging on, does that play into the narrative at all, or does that have anything to do, or is it just you just felt like the game was dragging?
Now that you asked me the question, I think there's a lot of casual encounters that you realize didn't really change or progress the narrative. However, I do think that those casual narrative experiences that you encounter along the way make it feel more real. Like the writing definitely feels very, like, for one, it's very mature. It's not a game for kids. It's very like nostalgia, I would think, to very much our generation. Like if you're 35, 40 and under, you're probably going to pick up something from this. Like it's very much like an angsty teenager, high schooler thing. There are parties, there's depression. Like you're going back and forth to kind of all this type of stuff in the mix of the game. So like the casual encounters, I think, serve to foil, those more impactful moments. If you didn't have them, it'd feel weird. That said, like there's just a lot of it. Like that, especially that first, you're right, Jason. Like the first couple hours, you're like, are we gonna do anything? Are we just hanging out? Like I'm just going to the snack shack, like grab some food, come back home. Like there's a
snack
lot of
Falcon.
That. Yeah, it's just kind of Now I will say this. I tweeted this, and I really feel like it. I feel like it's spot on. The encounters between May and Greg, I feel like, are some of the same conversations that like Kevin and I would have with each other. I'm not sure how many adventures.
I knew Kevin had a boyfriend.
But there's definitely like the way they treat each other. They're like, I hope you die. Like, I wish you died on the way here. I wish you died under a truck. I wish you died on a truck went off cliff. And then they're like, I love you, bro. And he's like, I love you too. It's like a lot of, they're constantly bickering, arguing, but they're like the best of friends. And I just like, man, this is Kevin and me. We don't agree on anything. Just constantly argue all day. But yes, it was good. And I will say, the aesthetic and the style, I think, play a lot to it. I loved jumping on the power lines. I like every day I came out of the house, I walked along that picket fence and like let the music play. It was like kind of like, there's like some Animal Crossing vibe there that I kind of enjoyed and kept doing. So it was a good game. I liked it. It was a good game. That's gentlemen. That's what I've played on Switch.
All right.
Well, the only thing that I can add then, because I've played Celeste, I've played Night in the Woods. I still play Brawl Out. That's still my jam. Until I get Switch coming on. Until I get Switch, till I get Smash coming on the Switch. I'll probably still play. I'll still play Brawl Out. Oddly enough, I got caught up with a franchise I've long neglected on my PC. This past week, but this is not the personal computer shack. This is the Nintendo shack. So, when are we going to start the personal computer podcast? There's no audience. There's no audience there.
The PWN cast.
No, it got vetoed.
Right, the Steam room is what I said. Everybody's like, no, ooh, no.
Welcome to PSVG Sauna.
Hey, you had a good name for the PlayStation podcast. That was a good, quite a good suggestion.
I like when a creative thing hits me every now and now. So now,
Yeah.
I
now
can
it
say
took
this.
you it took you 100 tries.
That's true, but at least I was trying. At least I was trying.
Right.
In my defense, Jason, since we're gonna let Seth do his plug, my original pitch was awaiting greatness. Still awaiting greatness was what I was gonna.
I like that.
As I said, as I replied to the Xbox Twitter today, PlayStation last year had 2,000% the number of exclusive good to great games as Xbox did.
I love it. Like, that was a great thread to jump into. I think Mo might have taken a little too literally. I don't think he.
I think that's just.
Yeah.
I think that's how he. There's just.
We do have some.
Great.
Donnie, do we have questions to get to?
Yes.
As well?
We didn't have as many because, to be honest with you, I didn't get home until late.
I'll just fit in. I like Brawl Out. Their Discord is a toxic community. Don't join it. And Drifter is Bay.
Brawl Out has been my. Okay, I like playing whatever the car racing game that we talked about earlier is that I can't remember the name of.
He loves it.
I like that better than Brawl Out.
Brawl Out is I don't like Brawl Out. I can't beat the computer. I
Yeah.
I tried for
I
maybe 30
go
minutes
online
and I was like,
and
nope.
I crap on 10-year-olds and I feel good about myself.
Ugh.
That's what I do.
I just get crushed at that game.
That's a comment we're going to take out of context.
That's right. Call me R. Kelly.
Oh no, no. All right. So moving on to questions and comments. Today, because we were short on time and I knew we wouldn't get enough run for folks, I don't think I sent tweets out until like 7 p.m. I asked a question to the community. I said, "What are you most looking forward to in 2018 to play on Switch?" So before we hear from them, Seth, since this is your foray over here into the Shack life, what game in 2018 has your interest?
On Switch?
On Switch. We
I
can
don't
come
even
back to you if you
know.
want.
You might need to come back to me. The only, why don't you guys go first?
Okay.
I don't even know what's coming to Switch this
So
year.
Tom Happ over there at the Backlog Busters, he wrote.
Oh,
he
yes, March 1st.
Veto! Objection!
said, sorry, Tom.
Why did you say Tom Happ? Is that his name?
That's his name. Tom Trash
No, it's
Turkey Happ.
not. What?
I only
That's
know
what
him
he-
as Trash Turkey.
Yeah, that's what he put in his handle anyway. He's over there at the Backlog Busters. He says that he is looking forward to Mario Aces.
No, you are wrong.
Oh,
Looking
Tom
at-
Happ is the developer. Tom Happ
I'm
is the
taking.
developer of. He's the developer of Axiom Verge.
I know that.
He's not Backlog Busters.
No. You don't understand.
I don't
At
think
Trash
anybody-
Turkey is a follower of ours that wrote to us.
Right,
His handle
right.
says Tom Trash Turkey Happ, which is why I was
Oh,
reading
see,
it.
I was taking the same way Seth
Oh.
was. Referring to his name as Tom Happ, and I was like,
His name.
See, you see what those Backlog guys do to us? Jeez.
I blame Surge. He's
Yeah.
a jerk.
Hey, I
like
might.
Adam Leonard.
I'm going out to Las Vegas this summer
Yeah.
for a convention, and I'll be there a day
Conventions.
early.
If we never see Seth again, we know why.
And so I'm hoping to meet up with Serge that
Nice.
day when I'm out there. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, what is Trash Turkey, not Tom Happ, looking forward to?
Mario Aces. That's the game
Oh,
he's looking forward to
yeah,
on
that's-
Switch.
that's
He's looking
a
forward to
good
Mario
one. Yep.
Aces. And then, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I thought of one game that's coming really soon that I'm looking forward to. It's the new Mike Bithell game. Came out on Steam earlier. It was like stealth released on Steam. Subsurface Circular.
Yeah.
And it's I don't even think you'd call it a walking sim. I think it's just a text-based game, and you're a robot detective, and the game takes place on one trip around the train station, the substation, and you're trying to figure out who's snatching all the robots. So I'm legitimately excited about that. It's a $6 2-3 hour experience, and I'm excited that's coming to Switch.
Jason, do you have one you want to You want to pitch?
Yeah, I wasn't sure at first because I've really struggled with 2018 and what things I'm excited for. I mean, there's a few games I'm looking forward to, but I think I want to pick one that I don't think a lot of people are. And ever since I saw the announcement trailer, I've been really excited for this, and that's Moonlighter, which is coming. Was kickstarted. It's coming to Steam, and then it's coming to Switch, and it's a pixel art roguelike dungeon crawler / shop simulator. So you run a shop, and I'm assuming you can kind of set your own prices and sell. You sell your wares to get money to upgrade your gear and things like that. And then you have to go down into a dungeon and kill things and get items, and I don't know. It just looks really cool. I don't think the devs have. I think this is one of their first games. I had an email dialogue going with them right when I saw the announcement trailer. I was like, I need to talk to these guys, and then of course they're like, well, we're not giving out keys. I'm like, whoa. I wasn't coming here to ask for a key. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the game. So maybe down the road I could, if I ever felt like writing, which let's face it, I don't. I could do something like that on PSVG. But I'm really looking forward to the release. So Moonlighter is the game. So
okay.
It up.
Cool. His companion Grouchy also chimed in. He said he's looking forward to playing Skyrim because he's always wanted it on Vita, and he's finally happy to have it portable. And then he says No More Heroes because Travis Touchdown is badass, which I can appreciate. I would mention all the indie games I've mentioned before, but I don't want to sound redundant, so I'll throw out Detention, which is coming to Switch, I believe, next week. It's a horror game.
Donnie game.
There you go. It's a horror game. It's like The Coma that I reviewed for PSVG. It's a narrative-based horror game. Has really great reviews on Steam, guys. Like overwhelmingly positive. Like people like it. So, and then what's the Long Reach, which I wrote up a little story for. Also a narrative-based horror game like The Coma. Yeah, I was like, that looks awesome. It's got some Stranger Things.
I hope we get Shakedown Hawaii this year too.
I think every time we ever talk about the future, we mention Shakedown Hawaii. So yeah, and I'm gonna play all the Marios and the Kirby's and all that. Bayonetta's tomorrow. It's a big deal. We're almost wrapped up for time, so I don't think we have any more questions. We have one. We'll answer it quickly. Grouchy asks, "What kind of cheese do you put on your favorite cheeseburger at home when you grill burgers? What's your favorite cheese to put on a
pepper jack?"
Pepper jack.
Pepper jack. I usually don't do cheeseburgers, but if I do, pepper jack is on top of the list.
I'm a provolone fan. I choose provolone all the time.
I can't remember the technique, but one time when we were still doing HelloFresh, we had a recipe. They did a burger, and we took. I want to think it was either. I almost want to say it was just cheddar, but you took it and you sprinkled it onto a baking sheet, and then you put that in the oven and cooked that until it got all melty and like pretty much formed, and then you scraped it off, so you had this sheet of melted cheese, and then you put that on the. I don't remember what that actually is called, what that technique for it was, but it's so good. So good.
It's called burning your cheese before you put it on the cheeseburger. It's fantastic. That sounds amazing.
It's called molten magma.
I did want to provide a product review because I played with it today.
Yeah.
And this was an interesting thing that I just encountered on YouTube. I was watching some of the YouTube videos that I follow, and somebody had a YouTube video reviewing the eKit controller. That's E-E-E.
That looks like an Xbox
controller. And yes, if you can't see the video, it looks just like a 360 controller.
I don't know. It looks like exactly like an Xbox One. Look at the shape. It's got the same exact.
Yep. I mean, it is spot on. It's got the split sticks.
One shell.
I did play this game today. I played Owlboy, I played Zelda, and Mario Kart. Me and my son played it together. And it charges USB-C. Here's the thing I want to tell you about this controller. It does everything that your Pro controller from Nintendo does, except Amiibo. It has motion controls. It takes screenshots. It connects wirelessly. It connects just fine. It controls just fine. The sticks are tight, or at least the one that I have. And if you look it up on YouTube, again, I'll say this one more time. eKit, E-E-E-K-I-T, Switch controller. eKit Switch Pro controller.
Here's the E's.
Here's the interesting thing, most interesting thing about this controller. I bought this controller for $23. That's the winner there. If you're looking to buy another Pro controller, you're looking to get more co-op play in your house on the cheap, you can't shell out $80 for 4 Switch Pro controllers or 8 sets of Joy-Cons or anything. This is a fantastic solution. I can't tell you, in all of my research, I can't tell you a better third-party controller preference that I would recommend, because all of the wired ones all of the extras go out the window. No motion control, none of that. At least you get everything except Amiibo. And I mean, quite frankly, we've talked about it. A lot of people aren't even using Amiibo, so I don't know if that's really a deal breaker for many people.
How are the thumbsticks and the D-pad?
The D-pad is fantastic. That's kind of why I wanted to play Owlboy with it. I was like, because I would rather play Owlboy with a D-pad than a thumbstick. The thumbstick, I can't say I noticed a difference. I mean, I played Owlboy like I played on the Joy-Cons. So it felt like that. I will say this, from a aesthetic style or a controller, like if you held one before, it feels like the Xbox controller feels in your hand. With the exception, it's much lighter. You can definitely tell it's lighter. It's a lighter controller. So if you like a lot of weight and heft, this might let you down.
Have you used the motion yet?
Yeah, I used it with Zelda. That was the first thing I did. I was like, I wanted to test it out.
I would put it into Splatoon 2. That would be my test for it to see how it would hold up there.
I just played our bumper. Apparently, I hit the thing on my computer.
Whoops.
But yeah, I will. I might try.
What do you think the build quality is like? Do you think does it feel like, how's it feel in your hand?
It feels good. I gotta say it, and it really does. I'm not saying that to say it. Like, it feels like an Xbox controller. Like, it feels good. Like I said, it's not as heavy. It's definitely not as heavy, and you can tell it's got the transparent,
it's got that same style
stuff. It's got wireless.
What's the little button there at the top there?
So the buttons up here is your screenshot button and a power button. So your screenshot button is here, and then you've got your start, select, plus minus buttons on the front.
What's that there where the guide button would be on the Xbox?
It's a home button.
What is that one? Okay,
that's your home button. So basically think about taking the Switch Pro controller and putting all the buttons on an Xbox controller. It's like the same mold, right? Because I mean, the Xbox controller even has this button. It's a sync button, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Totally the same mold. Yeah.
It's the same.
What was how did the shipping take?
I mean, I posted in the Discord. I think I bought it what's today? Today's Thursday. What did I buy it? Monday or Tuesday?
Okay.
I bought it direct from the manufacturer on eBay. And again, it was $23.99. You can buy two of these.
It's got to be better than a Mad Catz controller.
You can buy two of these. They're still doing a sale. You can buy two of them for $45. Wireless. They have wired ones too if you're even looking for cheaper. They think they go $15 wired.
You'll have to report. I want to see a video with the battery life, much like your Switch battery.
No, I'm not doing that again.
I'm going to record this. This battery lasts 25 hours. This YouTube video is also 25 hours.
We have a Splatfest. I really wanted to play.
I don't care about it.
I wanted to stream. I don't think I have time because tomorrow I have to record. We have to podcast. And then I can't stay up all night because Saturday morning I have to install a drain. And then Saturday night I have to take my wife out for our Valentine's date. So with what time can I Splatfest? But I will. That's a good point. I will play.
I mean, this is a PG podcast.
Seth,
so
come on, man. Every episode with Seth.
I didn't say anything.
No, you didn't say anything. You didn't have to.
How that dinner date goes, we'll have your answer for you.
Yeah. But I will try to play Splatoon with the controller and provide some feedback.
I have no interest in the Splatfest. All the other Splatfests, I'm getting back in Splatoon. I'm playing it, and I'm like, there's a Sea of Thieves.
That's true. Sea of Thieves,
test coming up this week. I'm like, I want to be a pirate. I don't want to be a squid.
I want to play my Old Man's Journey game. That's my next one up on Switch.
Oh, when's that come out again?
It's pre-purchased. I've already bought it. It's on today's eShop drop, but I don't think it goes live until
the 20th?
20th or the 20th.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I want to play that too.
So I got to wait a couple days.
That's cool.
What's that game? I know I could watch a trailer. What is that?
It's
game
like this. It's this weird. Sentence? It's a text-based narrative adventure. It's a mobile game. I believe it's console exclusive. It's like their first little foray over here into consoles. But apparently the story is just really compelling. I would put it kind of maybe in some sort of journey-like thing or something like that. But yeah, the reviews that I read on it, the story is very compelling. There were a lot of people on Twitter when I said, hey, because I tweeted like, hey, I'm interested about this game. I had 9 people that were like, the game's awesome. And I was like, okay, I will throw them. I think it's like $10. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. Why not? So that's it. I wanted to provide a little feedback if anybody out there is looking for a controller. So far, so good. Only day 1 though, so we'll see.
Are you going to get that modular controller we found, where you can put the Super NES buttons on there, or the NES?
That controller looked weird, man. Remember those Wii U Pro controller things that used to come out, where they were like just oblong and like wide? right? And
Yeah.
so they didn't look. Yeah, then that's kind of what that one reminded me of. I was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right. Well, how are we looking at time?
We're
about
right
there.
here at the end. Seth, give us a plug. Let the listeners know what you're doing.
All right. We just this week launched the PlayStation Experience, which is PSVG's PlayStation-centric podcast. Recorded that on Wednesday. It is Justin and myself. Primarily, as we get going, we'll have other people on the show as long as they want to get up at 6 a.m. or we'll have occasionally record some night shows, I'm sure. You can find us on Twitter at PSXP Podcast. And I've been trying to tweet from there and share a bunch of PlayStation stuff and talk to people. We've had some good banter with people so far. So we'll be recording next Wednesday. Usually, well, I say usually, we've done it one time, but I'll do a call out for questions. Also next week, I did just get a Scuff Infinity controller.
Ooh.
So I have played just a couple games on it, car racing games so far.
MLG Pro.
So I'll be able to talk about that and the reason why I got it and whatnot next Wednesday. So for a little teaser, again, that's PSXP Podcast on Twitter and the PlayStation Experience Podcast.
Nice. Bayonetta tomorrow, folks. Koopalings, get out there, get Bayonetta. Support Bayo.
Bayo.
Scott Baio?
No.
Okay.
The garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia
no.
phenomenon. Yep, I went there. I don't plug my stuff too much, but I'm going to this week because I do a podcast, Flexipose, and we're hitting episode 200 next week. And not only that,
deal.
Wednesday marks our 4-year anniversary. So not only we're hitting episode 200 and 4 years podcast, and all in the same week. So people told me I wasn't even going to last 6 weeks, and here I did it for 4 years. I got 3 listeners to show for it. So there's that. As always, we appreciate you guys listening, commenting. Join us on Discord. Check out the website, playsomevideogames.com. But above all, always remember, never stop gaming. Then Donnie says goodnight, Koopalings.
I was jamming the music a little bit.
It's okay.
It's good stuff. Good night, Koopalings.
Thank you.
This has been a production of the Play Some Video Games Podcast Network. Find more great content at playsomevideogames.com.